Okay, now we're live. Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. So we keep going on the cross of individualism with the 6-2 profile. When you get to the sixes are always looking to the other hexagram. What's there? And when you look at what's ahead, what's there is you get to the format of the abstract process. And you get to this whole trip, the whole life of this. And this whole thing where you don't know what's going to happen and you build a house and it gets knocked down and you invest in your body and it falls apart, all of this. There you are back on the land of the six. The 6-2 individuals, again, here's a classic example of the power of this. I've never met one. I know fives, I know 5-1s on the other side, and I know 5-1s on this side. I don't know the sixes. Ideally, this is a classic place to be a role model. It's even easier for them to find their role as a unique role model because they're already configured to be different. But remember, you're still dealing with a 38-39. That difference is provocative. And you're not going to have a healthy third mind phase at the beginning of your life. It's very unlikely that you're going to love being different. It's like children who have strong individual definition in their design. They're not comfortable with that. No child growing up with strong individuality is comfortable. They're trained in collective social environment. There's a lot of pressure to conform, and it's often very difficult to be different. Children don't like it. And you can see this inherent fear in all of us to be unique. The fear of standing on your own 2 feet. So theoretically, the 60 on the cross can be an enduring example for all of us. In other words, an example, the beauty of being an individual example. So often, there's the hypocrisy of their lives, the hypocrisy of trying to look ordinary in the world, and then going into the retreat of their line unconscious and living out their unusualness behind closed doors, but hardly a viable example. The 6-3. I have sympathy always or empathy or probably better word for the 6-3 process. How difficult it is not really to be of the hexagram and always be pointed toward where you are. It creates in itself its own pressures. This is the energy that's necessary that's bringing phenomena to go from the 6-3 to the 1-3. And you can see in that bridge that unlike the bridge of the 4-1 to the 5-1, you can see how this bridge is an unconscious bridge. It's a very unstable unconscious bridge. It's a trial and error unconscious bridge. It's like the 6-3's mistake becomes the 1-3 start. There's the continuity in the third theme, in the mutative theme. And if you think about what we've learned from the 39, you will see that all 6-3s and 1-3s in their relationship together are creating a mutative bridges where this jump can take place from the 6-3 to the 1-3 consciousness. I enjoyed watching 1-3s. You don't see it very often, but Randy, a friend of mine, and he's a 6-3, and I have a lot of 1-3s in my life. He was babysitting my children this morning. The relationships within the 1-3 and the 6-3 is one of the magical relationships. It's like the relationships between the 4-1 and the 5-1. There's a very special relationship in that sharing of the foundation. And with the 6-3 and the 1-3, there's sharing of the mutation, this movement of the mutated field. By the way, the 4-1 gets it 2 ways, which makes the job so difficult because they have their personality bridge with the 4-6 and then they have the unconscious bridge with the 5-1. So it's something that makes the juxtaposition. We don't speak of the 6-3 in the same terms because of that, but yet still to understand the 6-3's job is to bring the mutative potential of the fulfilled hexagram to the mutative foundation of the next hexagram. The not-self 6-3 on this cross can quickly discover that you could not invent our individuality, and that's what they try to do. In other words, they try to redesign themselves all the time in order to deal with the trial and error, this deep theme in their life, only to recognize that they can't. It's like people that I meet who come to human design and they say to me, I've been working on myself for years. I hear that from a lot of people. I have moments when I'm not very respectful and I remind them that they've been polishing the not self. Basically, with most humans, what they call working on themselves, this is what they do. They polish the not self. One of the interesting things about the 6-3 on this cross is that they're always trying to polish the not self, discovering ultimate that it doesn't work, what leads naturally into a new beginning, a fresh beginning.